Troy Williamson defends his British Super Welterweight Championship against the pretty boy Josh Kelly. Who wins? Find out Friday, December the 2nd, 9 p.m, live and free on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here with the BoxRec #1 flyweight in the world, Sonny Edwards.
I've been that for a long time now. Yeah, BoxRec, I've been #1 for a long time. I'm now
Ring Magazine, that
Ring Magazine, and what's the transnational boxing ratings, or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? The other one.
So that makes you the #1 top dog at flyweight.
You would think so. I don't know how many. There's probably a few disagreements. There's a few arguments there, but 2023, I've got every intention to putting those to bed.
Well, let's talk about. I spoke to you in Sheffield after your win. There was a lot of talk about Bam Rodriguez, Martinez. We've spoke a little bit off camera there about Eddie Hearn in this undisputed tournament. What do you want for 2023?
Undisputed. If we can make a tournament where all 4 champions go in, then I'm all for it. I'll be the first in line. As #1, I should probably get first pick of the opponent, of which it would be Martinez, and probably home advantage.
Box is better than he talks.
Box is better than I talk. That means I must box very well. I'll talk very, very bad. It's that'd be good. Best of luck. Best of luck. Where was that? Yeah, I mean, if there's a way that I could, henpeck the other 3 champions all within contracts that they have to fight me if I keep winning, then 100% I want first. I think Martinez is the most interesting fight. I still think that if I was given a chance to pick out of the others, I'd probably have him in the semi-finals. But Bam Rodriguez would be my other option. They're the 2 interesting fights, so they're the fights I want. Dalakayan, hard fight, good fighter, doesn't really do much in way of profile compared to the other 2. So yeah, if you ask me what would I get, I'd have I'd have Martinez in the first half of next year, and then I'd finish it with the winner of Bam versus Dalakayan, who I'd hope it would be Bam. I think as those 2 fights, the profile they bring, the draw of the fights, the events, and what the winner would be crowned, and also how much that title and that status of being undisputed flyweight champion would actually mean, because it's a very good division. Fighters that everyone's heard of, everyone's seen fight numerous times. There's been years and years now where people have wanted unifications at flyweight, and they haven't happened since Brian Valoria about 10, 12 years ago or something. So yeah, they're the only fights I want really. Otherwise at flyweight, I don't think there's much of a future for me outside of that.
Is that a message to Eddie Hearn? Because I know Eddie Hearn's worked with Martinez, he's signed Bam Rodriguez. So have you got a message for Eddie Hearn to get these fights over the line? Because I know you went back and forth with Eddie on Twitter a wee while back for the Martinez fight. Do you still have to continue being your vocal self on Twitter and on IFL TV and whatnot to get these fights?
I don't think Eddie needs. This is the second person that's asked me. I don't think Eddie needs any persuading. I think Eddie knows that they're great fights. I think Eddie's willing, and has shown that he's willing through the negotiations previously, to work with me and to have me on his shows. I think he knows that it doesn't just stop at one event with me. I want to take on his whole roster. I want all of them. I want Martinez to start. I want Bam Rodriguez after that. I want a guard weight. I want all the ones he's got a super flyweight and past that. Like genuinely, that's. And it could be literally fight after fight after fight after fight. Like that is my intention. So I don't think it's anything. I don't think Eddie needs any persuading or Matchroom need any persuading. I think the whole weight of it goes on to the opponents. Bam Rodriguez could have come down to flyweight, called me straight out and got a straight chance at the IBF. For some reason he wants to go and be a WBO champion first on a vacant title. Fine, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that option was there for him and is still there for him. And Martinez the same. I just want the big, interesting fights. I've just cleared off my mandatory, who for most rights was the killer outside of the champions in the division, beat him fairly comfortably in my opinion. And like I said, I just want the big fights. If they're not willing, it's not really Eddie. I know for a fact Eddie's happy to make these fights. And he knows that I'm happy and willing and easy to make a fight with. So, yeah, I don't think the message has to be for Eddie. If anything, he's been sort of the pleasure to work with and communicate with. It's been, where it gets down to getting on back from the managers and the fighters. That's been the hard part at world level. Like I said, it's not been getting Eddie interested. Like I said, Eddie's been going around telling the media outlets that he wants to do the 4-man tournament, all the champions. I think the weight needs it, and not only that, I think they're flyweight fights, yes, but I think a few of those matchups, me versus Bam, me versus Martinez, them versus each other, you've got fighters at the other weight as well. Like, it comes outside of just being a good flyweight fight, and a good fight for world boxing. And that's the only thing really right now in 2023. I'm interested in the position I'm in. You know, in 11 months I defended my world title 3 times, and now it's about having them sort of legacy-defining fights, I guess.
I'll put this to you then, Sonny. If it gets to March next year and there's no contract for you to fight Martinez or Bam Rodriguez, do you move up to super flyweight and vacate your IBF flyweight title?
Yeah, I mean, at that point I'll probably still be looking at or have the voluntary shot. So maybe there's an interesting fight I can make there. Interestingly enough, my next mandatory looks to be, not for a while yet, but looks to be Joselito Velasquez, from Mexico, and he's, I think, training partners, stablemates with Martinez. So who knows? That might be worth exploring. I know they've put him on some good bills. It was meant to be on mine and Martinez's undercard against McWilliams Arroyo. That was the plan. Obviously, Martinez went sideways, and it all went sideways. But that was the plan. So yeah, maybe there's that. Maybe if that's interesting, I don't know, might help me get closer to Martinez. But like I said, I want the genuine big fight, so I might find it easier to get them at super flyweight because there's a few more names up there. I might have to take a few of the names that aren't the top guy first. Like, I might not be able to walk straight into a world title fight like I'd like to, like I'd hope to. But yeah, so be it. I mean, I don't think that one world title and the IBF title is going to define me for my career. I think I'm going to have a lot more success than that. So yeah, like I said, I can't just sit around and waste maybe the best years of my development. And if I start moving up earlier, I'll be able to go through the weights a little bit more. So that's the plan. Chase the big fights now. I've proved that I can get to world level, and it's not a fluke, and I can do it, and I can do it, and I can do it again. Now it's the big fights I deserve. Why haven't I got them? Because the other fighters haven't been willing yet. But 2023, I think, that's changing.
Martinez said in an interview that when that fight was trying to get made with yourself, it wasn't much on his side. It's because you had so many mandatories and maybe a voluntary or something along them lines. And he basically sent out a message to you, I believe, and said that they're champions and not clowns. Just your response to that?
Well, he's just lying. He went silent after I was being vocal pretty much every single day, saying I'm devastated the fight's not happening. 3-4 days later, okay, we knew our mandatory was going to get called, so we just reached out. They was ready to make a fight. We was ready for a prospective date of when we wanted to fight. So we got the fight made done very, very quickly, but it wasn't even thought about until we was told that the fight's not happening because they've asked for too much money and DAZN haven't approved their side of things. I had agreed purse for 6-7 weeks, been training, been paying my sparring partners, been working with a nutritionist, XYZ. I went home halfway through a training session, a strength session, and got home and cried when that fight didn't happen. So then now I feel very offended that someone's going to tell me that it's because his side. No, my mandatory hadn't even been called yet. The IBF had already allowed me to have this unification fight against WBC. There had been money that was put aside to pay step-aside money to McWilliams Arroyo, his mandatory. I've got all the correspondence, I've got all the emails, all the documents. I was forwarding into him, as well as his management, my management, WBC, IBF, promoters. Like, there was like about 12 names and addresses on the email. I couldn't believe it. But that's what it takes when you're organising fights like this. And then, like I said, they pulled out wanting ridiculous money. And then even messaged me on Instagram telling me when we fight it must be for the most money in history for flyweights. Yeah, we get the most pesos. That's what he said to me. I can show you the messages right now out of my pocket. I put them on Twitter anyway.
Do it. I'm joking.
No, but I've already put them out there because he called me a liar before. And like, I'm not in the business of leaking things that are private, but only when it proves that I'm not a liar. Like I said, I want that fight more than anything. He's the one that came back to Reynoso in a sweatsuit, needed an easy 8-0, now he's fighting an 8-0 kid, wanted another opponent, and then wanted to push back. Like, I've already fought and defended my world title. Am I stalling? Like, I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to have a date now. If you want to go and we can agree something in principle before he fights on the weekend, or Bam Rodriguez, I'm ready to go. All it is a phone call, a conversation. We can have it done in about 5 minutes. Like, I'm literally that easy to make a fight with. That easy.
So I know we're probably pressed for time here because I think we're shuttle buses, but I do want to touch on a little something because maybe I don't know if a lot of people think you're a wee prick, but you've done an absolutely great gesture for young Amy Great Ericks when she couldn't fight her pro debut was up. She needed to sell tickets. She thanked you on Twitter and stuff like that. So I just want to get your thoughts on that and helping a fighter out who's making their pro debut.
Do you know, I don't even know her personally. I just seen that it was local to me, and then I thought, all right, let me try to jump a little bit of support. I'm in a position now where, you know, I'm fighting for, you know, good money, and that wasn't always the case. So luckily, I've never really had to worry about selling tickets too much. It's always, you know, I've never had that position myself, but I've seen fighters in that, and when I can help out fighters close to me, I do. And if I see someone, you know, sort of bear their pride and pull it out there, which is a hard thing to do and a hard thing to admit, then yeah, I don't mind supporting when I'm in a position to do so. I don't know, a lot of people put it down to like virtue signalling and wanting to do like, I don't really care about all of that. Most of the things that I do for people you'll never hear about, it wouldn't even be spoken of, do you know what I mean? So that's just one where, you know, I can buy a few tickets, buy a table for someone and let them give it to their fans. I'm going to try and get down there. It's next week and it's 20 minutes from where I live, so I'm going to try and show my face to my old sparring partner Josh Wales' show as well. So yeah, like boxing's a small fraternity, and you know, I think me sharing it out then got a few people to then, you know, take notice of it, and sometimes that's all it takes. I'm getting rushed off by Lyndon.
That's what I'm saying. Lyndon is a lot bigger than you, and I think Lyndon's a bit pissed off that I'm holding you, man. Take him out, Lyndon.
Know what it is? Sonny just knows how to make everything about him. He's not even fighting. His fight's done. Nobody, you know, he's done now. Well, again, he has to be in front of the camera chatting shit. But that's.
You know, as your
he's come wearing his ring. He's come wearing his ring.
As your coach,
I don't want him here. I don't know why he's got that on.
As your coach for the week, I think you should sit down, take the weight off your leg.
You only use this to get in the arena.
So you ain't got to pay tickets.
Yeah,
no.
that's it.
Yeah, it's cheaper than one ringside ticket, this, you know. Gets you closer.
Listen, Sonny, go get that shot back. I'll see you back at the hotel, man. Cheers, champ. Thank you.
Night on Channel 5. Troy Williamson defends his British Super Welterweight Championship against the pretty boy Josh Kelly. Who wins? Find out Friday, December the 2nd, 9 p.m, live and free on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed at my wife and saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.